Okay, video 3. Now we're going to add houses to this, and I've provided you with a house model. It's the same one we did back in 1129. Okay, but you need to have it in the same folder that you've got your site plan in. It just keeps things neat, makes it work better. So let's see. Here we go. So I've got well, come on. Drag it over here. Here's the Revit model, the house, and here's the file, the site plan file that I'm working on with the videos. And there was my spreadsheet we used to create the point file with. So get it all in there in one file. Let's go to the site plan. There we go. And we're going to go Insert, Link Revit, and then you want to go to that folder and pick up the Revit model file. And for positioning, because we're going to be moving it around, we're just going to go manual, one of the manuals, okay? And we'll go Open, and let's place it, kind of right in here. Okay. But now the problem is that it's at level 1, okay, which is at 0 feet. So I'm going to bring a section view back down here so that I can see it easily. Of course, I got to extend my crop boundaries there. And so there's the house. And I just want to drag it up above the dirt so that I can see it. And go back to the site plan. And as you can see, the grid lines are showing, and the levels will be showing also. So we can come into our visibility graphics and come over here and turn off grids. Now let's select, and if perchance the labels for like the refrigerator and the dishwasher are showing through, you can go back into your visibility and graphics and turn off specialty equipment so that won't display. Now we want to rotate this and kind of position it. So we'll select it and go rotate, and we just kind of want to eyeball it so it's kind of parallel to the road, kind of parallel to the lake, somewhere in the middle there. Maybe move it around a little bit. We just want it to be in a relatively flat spot. Okay. Now we'll move our section view back in so it's like going through part of the house. And go back and look at it. And then we're going to bring it down in. And honestly, I found the best way to do this is just use your arrow keys so you're not moving it left or right or anything. And we're going to get it down into the dirt. Now, a problem with doing it this way is that the dirt fills the basement. If it matters, you can do an excavate on your topo solid to get rid of that dirt in there. But in a case like what we're doing here, we're just showing the overall site. We don't really care that there's dirt in the basement. Okay, because we're not dealing with the house plans in this project. We're dealing with the overall site plan. But we want to get it down into the dirt there. Let's go back to our 3D view and kind of zoom in on it. And what we're looking for here is to make sure that our pad footings are down. And you may have to get your okay, so we see we can go down a little bit further. So we'll go back to our site view. Okay, pad footings are still up in the air a little bit. We could go down a little bit further. All right, that looks good enough for what we're going to do here. Okay, so back to our site plan. And now that this is in here, you can copy it and put you a couple more houses in. So we'll just use the copy tool and we'll select that house and select a base point, finish selection, select a base point, and drag and copy a couple more up here. And then same thing, rotate them. And then you would want to move your section view up and check your elevation on it also. So you can see like that one's definitely got to come up higher. Okay, so you want to check your elevations on both of those. Now for a driveway, just like doing the road, we'll do a subdivide. So let's select our site. We'll go subdivide and we'll do some lines here and we'll come off of the. And you need to go back to the chapter in the architectural textbook. I'm not drawing these to any correct sizes here. I'm just kind of drawing them to get the sizes for driveways and things like that. It'll be the chapter on service area. Remember back in 1125, we did a driveway plan, garage plan. That'll give you the widths of drives and parking areas. Let's make that 10 feet. And remember, it's got to be a closed loop. And we'll have to put us in an arc down here. And you can make it asphalt, you can make it concrete. If you do concrete, you'll need to search down here and get the broom finish, because that's what would be for a driveway. There we go. It brought the wrong one in. There we go, broom finish. Okay, and then do a sidewalk from here over to the front of the house there. Oh, thickness on these, that can be like 6 inches. Sidewalk, no, 1'6". Driveways would be about 6 inches. Sidewalks would be 4 inches. And now let's do some plantings. So let's go back to massing and site and go site component. And what is loaded is just the RPC deciduous. And RPC means it's the realistic planting component. So it has a rendered image that goes along with it. And deciduous means it's just the hardwood trees. Okay, so I'm going to drop in a couple of scarlet oaks. And honestly, you can do it on the site plan. You can do it in the 3D view. Either way works fine. It picks up the topo solid. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna put a couple of scarlet oaks in here because they're nice and big and pretty looking. All right, so let's go to our 3D view so you can kind of see how that looks coming in there. And let's go, let's load a family. Let's load the, and this is in the planting directory of the catalog. And let's go with conifers. And let's bring in a yellow pine because here in Georgia we have lots of pine trees. Okay. And let's bring in some shrubbery, RPC shrubs. And you have a choice there of all kinds of shrubs there. Boxwoods are what's, usually placed in front of houses. Maybe hollies. And you could, certainly put you in a few more. A couple of hydrangeas, you can be creative out here. You put you in some smaller trees. What we got here? Little Japanese maples. Okay, so you can kind of be creative in putting those things in. If we look on our site plan, there's what it looks like here. We go to a section view, and these things are hosted to the topo solid. So they go in at whatever elevation the topo solid is at. And so our 3D view, if we switch over to realistic, now you can see it looks a little, the grass looks like carpet because we're so zoomed so far out, but the trees look realistic, okay? The house is just whatever color the house was back in the house file. Okay. All right. And I've got, from another video, I'll bring in a rendered image to show you how it looked on the rendering. But what I want you to do as part of this project is go ahead and do driveways and sidewalks for the other two houses and some plantings around them. You can do plantings around the lake, that's fine too. But check your dimensions from the textbook on sizes for driveways and turnarounds and radiuses and things of that nature, okay? And I think that's it. I'll check my notes, and if I have to make anything specific, it'll be there in Blackboard for you. So here's where I kind of finished off with my master file that I had going. And I did a rendering. We're going to do, excuse me, we're going to do renderings later in the course, but here's what it looked like with rendering, okay? And so the street and the driveway was asphalt. There's the sidewalk that's broom finished concrete. You can see the little boxwood shrubs there along the house, some dogwoods here. And you see the grass. Grass almost looks like carpet, you know. Anyway, so that will be that one. Next set of videos for next week will be a commercial site in which we do a different type because we're dealing with a one building specific thing. But this will be good for this week. I do believe. Anything else that you would like to add to kind of experiment around?